Well, it's been an interesting last couple games with Bruce. Bruce has now beat me twice in a row. That's pretty good. Yeah, so we just finished a game, and that game was incredible. It was a great game. I am not happy with how I did it towards the end, but it was still a good game. You know, you win some, you lose some. You just learn from it, and you look at where you made the mistakes, and that's why I like to do videos like this. I like to go over the games and see where I messed up. I really screwed up, and I should have done better. So I'm gonna go over the last two games. So I've reviewed games where I beat Bruce. So it's only fair that I do games where he beat me fair and square. It wouldn't be cool if I just did review games where like, oh, I won, look at how I beat this guy, and but I want to review games too where I just totally screwed up and I messed up bad. And so, anyways, so I'm gonna both times too. By the way, he beat me while black. And again, just I just want to reiterate, winning as black is typically not very easy because black is always reacting to white. White always has the advantage of being able to go first. Um, Let me hit this in the analysis here. There we go. Get rid of that school that there. And so for this one, the first one here, Bruce actually. I mean, I couldn't believe I lost this one, especially because I lost it in 28 moves. So I didn't really realize how bad it went. But anyways, so I started with the Queen's Pawn opening. I always enjoy the Queen's Pawn opening. It just leads to interesting games usually. Not for this one, but so what I'm doing here is I'm not really doing anything crazy right now. I'm just developing. Bruce has got well, first of all, let me just say here. I am noticing Bruce doing things a little bit differently now, so that's kind of interesting, kind of cool. We're not rather than just doing a simple King's Pawn opening stuff like that. We do it all the time. I mean, it gets kind of boring. But when I see this right here from Bruce, in response to my opening, I decided to move my knight right here to guard that because I'm assuming the plan is to move the bishop right here to get ready to go after that. I don't have anything else that can. Well, I mean, I can do that if I wanted to. That's an option right there. But I decided to do that because it protects this. It responds to this moving here, while at the same time developing a knight. So it's always a good thing. So then he does do that, but I know he's not going to just immediately take. So I'm going to go ahead and move the pawn up here. As the game is still fairly even right here at this point. And then he pushes the pawn up right here. And I know why he's doing this, because he doesn't want to lose the pawn immediately. He probably would win that exchange though, because if it went there and I took, he could take, he'd lose the bishop, but he would also can just come down and take with the queen. So that would be an exchange that Bruce would probably win. But anyways, so development just continues. I'm just getting a bishop out. I'm not really doing anything special here at this point. I'm just putting a bishop out here. It's usually a good idea to get the bishop out and also on a nice square where he's looking down, something, maybe that right there, check the king, that kind of stuff like that. And then Bruce starts attacking this pawn right here. I defend the pawn, even though I don't really need to, but I defend the pawn because I want a castle. So I figured I'll go ahead and do that. Now castle, there goes that. So this pawn comes up, and queen can move out right here. And I'm trying to remember a lot of the stuff for this game. This game was a little bit a while ago. Bruce immediately throws forward this pawn right here. And I'm like, that's interesting. But I'm just going to keep developing here. I'm just kind of, I think what this little move right here that I did, so if I recall correctly, my idea was to then move this pawn up right here so that Bruce wouldn't take. It would discourage him from taking so that I can sort of gradually push my pawns up, maybe attack the knight, or whatever, or pin the knight to the king, that kind of thing. Which I probably should have done already. I should have just gone ahead and just pinned the knight, But anyways, I digress. The difference between Bruce's move towards with the pawns, and mine's a little bit more strategic, I guess, because he kind of throws the pawn out, and even though the pawn's not immediately is not under attack by anything, he's also just totally hanging. Well, not totally, but he's got the rook right there. But if I like had a pawn right here, I might take the pawn or whatever, and blah blah blah. But anyways, it's not a terrible move, but it's not. You just you always want to be careful with those kinds of things, And then he just keeps throwing him forward, and so when I see that, I'm like, okay, he's planning on just getting down here and just gonna go ahead and break up the structure of my castle. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to if that pawn moves down like this, I'll just take the pawn with my knight. And that turns out not to be the best move, actually, that I made. And it actually begins the problems for me because I do throw a knight as a result of that. Now, the game has got me winning right now. This for me is the most frustrating thing for me, is in both of the games that Bruce beat me in here, I was like in a totally winning position from the start of the game to the middle game, and I just totally blew it. Now, I go ahead when Bruce throws up. So see, this is one of the problems. One of the mistakes that Bruce makes. He loses that pawn, and then he throws up this pawn right here. I should have taken with the knights. I mean, that would have been better. Maybe not. I mean, I guess taking that, it forces his queen to move. But then after that, I should have moved my knight because my knight's directly under attack from the rook. But throwing these pawns out, like I've said before, it's use pawns to just push down and put pressure. But don't at the same time, you also don't want to just like just one at a time, like kind of in a piecemeal kind of thing. You want to kind of bring them together to coordinate your pieces. So because that happens, and then you just lose them. Right there, Bruce responds. He actually makes a good move by attacking the bishop instead of moving the queen, because that would have given my knight an opportunity to get out of the way of the rook. And he doesn't go for the rook just yet. But here is... See, the game actually liked when I castled. I honestly, when I look back, I don't know. I don't think the castling was a good idea, especially when, look at this, you got 3 of these right here, and especially with the queen just basically staring down at this, and that could be extremely problematic, and it becomes a problem later on, as you see. So I'm going to go ahead and attack there because nothing's attacking the pawn, and I'm just going to... My idea here is to wait for an opportunity to push him up, possibly get a piece to guard him so I can promote and get 2 queens in the game. Long shot, but that's what I want to do. And then that happens, and it just strikes even pretty much the game. It gives me a slight advantage, but the game is pretty much even at this point. I cannot take because he's pinned. So the only option I do, and this is where, again, when I think for me defensively, I'm not the best player. But I just do this one thing I think I can do, is because I don't, like, queen coming down here is not going to do much. But I just, and I panicked. So I kind of was like, oh crud, this is not good. So I just, made sure the queen couldn't do anything there. And, if the rook took, I could take right there. And then, if the queen were to come down, which I know he's not going to do that, but still, I blow up my entire castle structure, but I do take out a rook and a queen at the same time. And then Bruce moves up the knight here. I move my knight right there because I'm looking at the potential fork right here. I'm just like, crud, man, I got to get something to work here. I'm coming under attack, so I'm going to see if I can do something. And I just totally... The reason why the game gave Bruce a big advantage right there is because I threw a bishop just like that. I mean, just not good at all. So I don't know what I was thinking with a queen move right there. Maybe I was attacking the knight. And then the knight goes ahead and takes a pawn. I push a pawn up right there, thinking, hey, maybe if he wants to go ahead and take that pawn, maybe he'll think it's a free pawn, and then I'll just take the knight. And then I would go from there to, like, I don't know, maybe right there. Maybe offer a queen trade. I don't know. And then, which would be a bad move for Bruce, because if Bruce were to take the queen, I would take fork and then take the rook right there. You'd lose a queen. I'd lose my queen, but you would lose a pawn, a queen, and a rook. But anyways, I digress. So Bruce decides, let's see if I can't. It seems like Bruce wants to think about maybe punching a hole into the structure I have right here. Oops. And I decide not to let him do that. So I'm going to push the pawn up instead. Was that a good move? Probably not at the end of the day, because actually what ends up happening is this. I don't move this pawn at all. It probably would have been better. Like I think honestly, it would have been better if I just took that stinking pawn, and then think about maybe possibly pushing up right there. But like I said, it's just the way to go. So Bruce moves the knight right there. This knight is just able to run around in my territory because I just in this game, like, my defensive structure is so terrible. It's just really bad. I mean, Bruce, if you wanted to, he can just tuck a bishop in right there, really nice and easy. That would have been a sweet move. I mean, the bishop's already really strong right there. Don't get me wrong, he's really strong right there. But if you move him right there, then he's also doing that. And so that means like if I was trying to get my king out, then I'd have to move my rook right here, or I could remove my rook right here, and then I can move my king, start moving my king over here. But then like these squares right here, it's like he's really constricted on where he can go. But anyways, my last bishop comes under attack. Try to save my last bishop, and Bruce does that, and that was a blunder. He totally just threw a knight right there. So I was like, okay, I'll just take the knight. So that was a big mistake for Bruce. But so I don't know what I was thinking with that one. I don't know why I did that. That was just such a dumb move. Just really stupid. Queen comes under attack, so I only go. Like, there's nowhere for my queen to go in terms of an assault. She's just kind of stuck in here. Bruce, whether he intended to do it or not, I have a feeling he didn't intend to do it, but he's got a great defensive structure right now. This guy's guarded. He's guarded. Anywhere for my queen to try to penetrate is guarded. My knight, the queen can just quickly take, and then she's staring down at that right there. That's a big bad, not a good thing. So yeah. And then he does this. When Bruce does that, that's when I realize, oh crud, I'm in trouble now. I'm in big trouble, because if the rook takes, cannot take because the queen is protecting the rook. So this is where I'm at. I like to see this, because even though I'm on the butt end of this, Bruce is now coordinating pieces. He's putting pieces together rather than just kind of throwing one like you did in the beginning of the game, just one piece at a time, piecemeal kind of thing like that. Instead, you're putting pieces together. And he's got this, looking at this right now. This guy's guarded, so my queen cannot take that knight. I'll just lose my queen. And then a potential pass pawn's coming straight down this way. And so I'm thinking at this point, I need to get my king out of here. Now, it's true. Yes, it's time to get your king out of there. That structure is going down in flames. But the way I should have done it was like with this instead, so that when Bruce comes down, boom, king would just move right there, and then when Bruce would check, so like let's say he takes, I move right here, he checks, and then I can get out of here. If Bruce checks, I can just kind of right there, and I'm still in not a great spot, but I'm in a better situation than I ended up. The game would have gone on much longer. But I make the stupid decision to think about, instead of doing the easy way, which was the obvious one, I decided to try to get my king out this way, which is stupid. I don't know why I thought about that. So that's the way I'm thinking. And I get checked, and I realized, at this point, holy crap, I'm about to get checkmated. Look at that, mate in 3. I'm about to get checkmated. I'm like, I could go right here, but this right here, that's checkmate right there, When I saw that, I went, okay, so the best thing I can think of, the best thing for me to do at this point, so like my queen here and my bishop there, ironically they actually contribute to my getting checkmated. So what I'm hoping is that if I just do this back and forth with this rook, Bruce will just give up on this and think about going somewhere else. But I've just been underestimating Bruce. This was even more incredible right here. This was actually an incredible, excellent move, because this is a discovered attack, discovered check. I didn't even see it myself. I do that. My hope is that Bruce is going to go, okay, that's okay, I got to find another way to do this so that I can just inch my king out of there. But nope, there's really nowhere to go at that point. Bruce saw the checkmate, and he went for it. He took it, and so, yeah, man, I lost that badly, really badly. So, all right, this next game, believe it or not, this next game hurt even more. It really hurt even more, because once again, like in the last game, even though this one went straight for. Wait a minute, hold on. This is not the game I was looking at. Because hold on, let's go here. It's this one right here. All right. Oh, so no, I was playing in black. Okay, maybe I wasn't. Maybe it's not too bad then. But this one, I went to fits. It went to 62 moves before I resigned because I knew there's no way for me to win. So, but still, this one hurt even more because I took more risks in this one. And yeah. So, anyways, I'll show you what I did. I did a queen trade. I'll tell you why I went for the queen trade, the purpose behind it. I figured I might be in a better position than Bruce. I don't. Again, I'm not a pro at chess, so I'm just sort of guessing this stuff. I can't really know exactly the better position, who's in the better position until I look at the end of the game, until we do the analyzing stuff, until I get to see the bar here and tells me, you know, who's winning and who isn't winning. I don't get to see that when we're actually in the middle of the game. So, anyways, I'm just going to go ahead. You know, when Bruce moves the knight right there, he obviously, that's now out of the question. So I'm just going to right there, like that, you know. Bruce still has a good advantage. I'm going to push that pawn up now because I know the pawn is guarded. So there you go. Bruce does his own, you know, basic move right there. I'm going to push a knight up right there. I don't know why I didn't just think about maybe that, you know. Because, I'm thinking I could place a knight right there. Bruce won't take it because it's guarded by this guy if I need to do that. And he pulls his queen out really fast. And, you know, I'm usually reticent about moving my queen out early. You know, I'm trying to just develop other pieces first and just try to open up some space for my queen to do some stuff before I usually move her out. But I do go ahead and get my queen out here, and this is the game does not like at all. So Bruce pushes up the pawn, and I'm like, you know, if he's gonna take my knights, I guess, but I'm just gonna take back with the queen, and then I'm, you know, might be looking at that, and then I got a dark square bishop, so maybe if I get a dark square bishop, I don't know, something. I'm just thinking about it. So, but I decided to move with this knight right here because I'm looking at a potential opportunity to fork at this point of the game. I'm looking at that. And there's nothing attacking my knight right now, so I feel pretty good about it. So then Bruce checks my king. Now here's where I sat and I thought for a moment. I went, I could do that, but look how white gets an advantage because next Bruce can just do that. And that's not good. I mean, it's not horrible, but it's not good either. You don't really want to be in that situation because you're just going to be stuck having to deal with that queen for the rest of the game. So I needed to make sure this bishop stays here, protecting that pawn. So what I do is I move the knight. Now, again, there's other things I could have done. Maybe I could have, that right there, you know, I could have offered the queen trade. So, you know, and who knows how that would have gone. But I decided to move the knight right here. Of course, the other thing, too, is I could have just moved my king to the side right there. But I just did this instead. It saves my knight, and the game does give me favor in the game. You see that? It gives me some favor in the game. All right, so I got that. The problem is my knight there, it gets stuck. He's pinned now, and so now I'm starting to think about how am I going to get that knight out of the pin. So, because I got a lot of pieces here, they're all just kind of like just freaking stuck to each other. You know, I got to start moving some pieces up. You can tell the difference here. Bruce has more pieces moving forward than I do. And Bruce, all right, so there you go. But I do see a nice advantage here because now that Bruce has moved his queen from, I think it was like right here. Let me go back here real quick. Well, yeah, right there. So now that Bruce has moved his queen right there, and the bishop move right here, the game does not like that. I mean, I kind of understand it because this pawn is stuck. He can't move anywhere. There's not really a whole lot that he's looking at, but I like where his head's at. His head's at is really nice. So the idea is just to get the bishop out, just get him out there, do something with him. You know, maybe it probably like a better move probably would have been somewhere than like right here. It just defensively, if you wanted to get him out, it would have been better. But because you know he's kind of hanging. But you know, even the game still doesn't like that. But anyways, so I go, okay, sweet, the queen moved, so I can get the fork now. So I went for the fork, boom, take it. And then Bruce pushes up a pawn right there. I'm not sure what he was thinking about that. I'm thinking, let's kick out the queen. And he just moves the queen backwards. And I'm thinking to myself, I could do this, but Bruce can just do that, and that queen is still a problem for me. And I mean, from there, she's not much of a problem. Like she can move right there, and then and still be a bit of a problem. And excuse me. I really think at this point, like looking back in hindsight, that queen really wasn't a huge threat to me as I initially thought. I you'll see it later, but I went for the queen trade because of the queen, his queen sitting right there. I just didn't like her sitting there. I did not like it at all. I just was like, I gotta get rid of that queen, and it involved me getting rid of my own queen. It was the choice I made. So, all right. So my idea, I think at this point is to. All right. So hold on one second before I move on. I wanted to make sure I note this. And again, this further highlights how I'm disappointed with myself, because I played a solid game here in the beginning. You see how the advantage, I just got a complete advantage. So it's kind of interesting because Bruce has more pieces moving forward, and yet I have the advantage. Why do I have the advantage? Because defensively, my structure is is like really impenetrable. Everything pretty much is guarded, so you look at this. Bruce has a knight right here. He's got a queen out right there, pinning my knight. He's got a knight right there. He's got a pawn right there. But here's the problem: queen's by herself. She's got no supporting attackers. This knight can't really do anything because he's going to get taken immediately if he takes anything. This pawn's stuck. He can't go anywhere. And this queen has no attack. All she's really doing is pinning right now at this point. So now, even though Bruce has more pieces moving forward, if you notice, everything that I have here that is of significance anyway is guarded. That's guarded. That's guarded. Guarded. That's guarded. That's guarded. That's guarded. Guarded. Guarded and guarded. Look at all that. All of that's guarded. And I'll just go ahead and throw my queen in. Guarded. Everything here is guarded. Now, I didn't include the back ranks. I'm not really going to include the back ranks. But these are all guarded. They're all protected. And that's how I was playing the game. I was like, make sure, Chase, when you make any move, you're making the moves in order to protect your pieces. So that's why I have a better advantage in the game. Even though Bruce has kind of got me in a tight spot, I'm going to have to go ahead and throw away some pawns in order to break open the position so that I can start making some moves. I have just defensively, I have a better structure. Now, you could argue that I could have, I don't know, maybe pushed pawn up like that. Bishop could take, but then you lose that, and queen could take, and it's now staring down at that. Whatever. But my idea is, I'm thinking at this point. So again, remember what I was talking about. Everything here is guarded on my end. On Bruce's end, however, what isn't guarded? He's not guarded. Well, actually, he is. I'm sorry. He is guarded. That isn't guarded. Right there. That bishop is sitting there all by himself. He's protecting two pieces, yes, but himself, he's not being protected. And if you remove that, well, and then, you're looking at, that right there, and then maybe that, I'm thinking about my queen. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, and this is important when you're playing chess, is you got to look at where's the weakness? Where's the weakness? There's always a weakness at some point. Even if it's a weakness that's going to cost you, it's still a weakness. There's always something there, I believe anyway. So my idea at this point is to basically get ready. I'm preparing an attack. My next move is going to push with the pawn. My idea is to take the knight. And if he takes right there, I can take with the bishop, check. Rook can't really do anything. He can come down and maybe look at that and start staring this way. But Bruce decides to, and this actually worked to my benefit. Even though my knight's there, there's nothing that my knight over there could do. There was nowhere he can go that he wasn't going to get taken. So he was just done for. There's nothing for me. So he goes in and just takes the knights, which is fine, which is actually works in my favor because now the rook is on this side rather than on this side. I don't really have to worry about it right now. He eventually moves him back, which is good for Bruce. So I go ahead and go for the attack right there. And Bruce does that, attacking this, and that just makes things easier for me. So I go ahead and I just take with the pawn. Bruce retreats the bishop. Now, man, you know, when I think about it, I should have taken with the bishop, because then the bishop couldn't go anywhere. Bishop's pinned. Bishop is forced to either take or move back, and then if I were to take, you know, lose, you know. But yeah, when I look back, that's what I should have done right there. That was a much better move. But I do that instead, and then I allow the bishop to get away. And this all contributes to how the game turns out in the end. Because then Bruce moves the rook back. I check right there. King moves back. I move my queen right here. Now this is where, again, see, because I let the bishop get away, now my queen's attack is basically thwarted, because this is guarded, this is guarded, this is guarded, that's guarded, all of that's guarded, and that's guarded as well, even assuming I could even get past that. Now I've allowed Bruce to basically guard all of that, and whether he intended to do it or not, I should have taken with my bishop, but I'm going to go ahead and risk throwing away my bishop. I attack his bishop, and knowing that if he attacks mine, I just take his. And so if, like, Bruce did that, boom, I'm in a really good position. If the rook took, I would just take the rook right there, and there's check. Then Bruce would be in a really, really bad situation. So Bruce takes right there. He's attacking my bishop, and I go ahead and just take out that bishop. I'm knowing I'm going to lose my bishop. My queen's going to get in there, though. Now I'm actually kind of surprised by this. So the game is actually suggesting that was not a good move. And actually, I think I know why. Because, and I'm glad Bruce didn't see this, because I'm looking back in 2020 hindsight. But the problem here is and I remember I looked at the game review. I'm going to lose my queen like this. I can lose my queen. How? Check. If I do this, queen's gone. If I do this, queen's gone. So that actually was not a good move. Now that when I think about it in the long run, that was a bad move for me. Thankfully, Bruce didn't see it. He does that. I'm not sure what that was doing. Okay. So I can't comment much on something that just kind of, to me, was kind of seemed bad, but not like I didn't know what was going on there. But Bruce does that, and that forces me to make a move. In other words, I'm forced. I mean, I wasn't forced, because if you move down in here, I could just do that. But the thing is, my rook would be stuck there, and I've already got two pieces stuck. These two are stuck, and I don't want to get more pieces stuck. So I do the only thing I can do is take. Now I took, assuming Bruce was going to take with the bishop, but he took with the rook instead. And so I decided to go ahead and check right there. And I'm seeing an opportunity. At this point, I'm looking at I see an opportunity now to take Bruce's queen. And the idea here is right here. Let's say Bruce does something like, I don't know. Like, we're just doing this for the sake of the game. That's check. And there goes your queen. That was my idea for this point in the game, but Bruce did that and totally foiled the idea. So at this point, I'm thinking to myself, okay, my attack, at least in my eyes, my attack is basically, I'm stuck. I mean, my knight is no longer being pinned, so I could, start moving around, maybe attack his queen. That might have been probably the best move right there. The game likes that. It would force his queen to move. Definitely not anywhere in here. Again, I'm looking back in hindsight. I'm like, this is probably the best move for me to do, because the queen is kind of forced to do something like that. And then we could check, right? Maybe check right there, get the king over this way like that. But again, my bishop here is just like stuck. Like, I'd want to try to think about something like that. Oh man, that wasn't. game did not like that at all. But anyways, so that's one thing I could have done, but I didn't do it. Instead, I did this, and it's a queen trade offer, basically. Now, here's the thing. There is a cool thing about this, even though it's probably not the best move for me to make, and I think the game did not really like this move at all. Because I'm sitting here, I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking, I just had a bad feeling about the queen right here and this rook. And especially this pawn right here. Even though he's stuck, he's also keeping my king from really going anywhere. And I can't attack the rook right now because he's being protected by the bishop. So I'm like, when I'm just looking at these two, I just kind of got nervous, and I don't know. This is where my defensive awareness, I think, is just really bad. I have a defensive awareness, but I just always make the wrong moves about it. Just the wrong moves. Maybe I need to just do some more studying into how to play defensively. That's probably my biggest weakness. But just to mention, like, my big fear in this point of the game was just simply these two right here, these things going on right here, and he still has a bishop right there. I was just afraid of what could happen, and so I decided to go for the queen trade. I decided, if I can get his queen out of the way, I can start pushing up these pawns, and I'm bound to get a promotion with these 3 pawns. 3 pawns versus 2 right here. I'm bound to get a promotion of some kind. But the other thing I'm doing here is I'm also actually forcing the queen trade. I'm kind of forcing it. Bruce knows he has to do this. He's got to do it, because if he does this, you're losing your queen. I mean, and then you're in serious trouble. I'm just going to go ahead and just start, just picking apart your structure here. So I have forced the queen trade. Bruce loses a queen, but he gets a rook and a queen for it. And at this point, the game is what I thought was dead even, because we have equal amount of pieces. We both have 1 knight, we both have 1 bishop, we both have 1 rook, and we both have 5 pawns. So, when I in hindsight, probably wasn't a great queen trade, but at the time I thought it was a necessary risk. I took a risk. I took a risk, hoping Bruce wouldn't know what to do without a queen. I've won games without queens before. I kind of familiar with it. And so, okay, what I'm thinking at this point, I'm going to attack the bishop. I'm going to force the bishop back, and I figure he's going to move it back right there. And then I'm going to start thinking about moving this knight up, because I don't have to worry about the queen anymore. I can just start pushing up these pieces here. So the bishop moves back. I'm going to start moving up. Bruce checks. I was kind of expecting that. I made a mistake. I should have gone down right here and then gone that way. Just got him out of the way, so there'd be no check. Because, Bruce just kind of starts to continue to check me. It's just annoying, and it allows Bruce to kind of just start to whoops, dang it, start to make progress towards me, and I can't make any progress the other direction. Here we go. Okay. So check, and then I think Bruce knows there's really no. He's gonna have to get some more pieces up. He kind of starts to get tunnel vision a little bit, but then maybe, I don't know, that could be the case. Maybe not. But it's clear to me, like, at this point, Bruce realized, okay, I still got pieces over here. I can get him into the game. So I'm thinking of this. I'm thinking Bruce. If Bruce checks me right here, I'm gonna go right here. If he checks me back, I'm gonna get away, get my king away. If Bruce starts pushing up right here, I'm going to probably best move is knight right here and just wait for that pawn to get close enough to just take him out. I'm going to lose the knight, but I'm preventing a promotion. So that's kind of to me, that's a trade. That's a good trade. When you're in a situation like this, you just got to do what you got to do to try to win the game. Sometimes it means throwing away pieces. And I figured if Bruce also at the same time, if Bruce moves that knight right here, he won't take with the rook because he'll lose the rook. So I think my knight, I'm confident in my knight. So he does move the knight right there, and I move him right there because I think Bruce is getting ready to check. He just wants to check right there, and I'm kind of stopping him from doing that. Yeah, at the end of the day, I should have just gone ahead and let him do it because, oops. because if he checks, like if I just decided, you know, just start doing this, and then Bruce checks. I mean, it's it doesn't do anything. It kind of puts my king back in cover of my pieces. So, it is what it is. But my original plan again was to push up these pawns, free up my bishop and my knight to now start moving around, because this bishop I cannot find anywhere to move this bishop where he's going to be useful. Right here? I mean, right here? I mean, because he's blocked. He can't move anywhere. So I'm going to have to go boom, boom, and then maybe boom right there to just finally get him useful. I mean, that's kind of a bit of a headache. But also I wanted to keep my rook here because I am paying attention to this pawn. That pawn easily can be promoted, and I just want to wait. I want my plan is I want to keep this rook here as long as I possibly can, so that when that pawn comes down and wants to promote, I'm keeping him from being able to promote right there. That's my plan ultimately. Now it's going to be difficult when I got two pieces right in front of the rook, but my other thing is, like, again, I would give up my knight in order to prevent a pass pawn. So he's pushing up. I'm just waiting for that pawn. I'm just waiting for him. And I have the idea of what I want to do here with it, because I'm thinking to myself, how am I going to get these past this? All I need to do is just get one pawn past this. Rook here is doing this, and he's also doing this at the same time. So, there you go. So, all right. So Bruce does that, and I decide this is going to be my pass pawn right here. This is going to be my pass pawn. What I'm going to do is I'm going to attack this pawn. So the idea is here to attack the pawn. Well, let's go back first. Let's just kind of explore our options. So let's say I, this, and then I don't know. We're just going to move the king around just to sort of show this. And if I did this, boom, 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 who's winning that one? I mean, I can do that, but Bruce is coming out with that one. So if I did this, we did that, nothing really happens. Stuck. Bruce can, he can give up his bishop in order to, but it's not going to work out either way for either of us. Neither of us are going to win that one. The only way this is going to win is, so let's, right here, takes, right there. Nope, that's not going to win either, because boom, and that's even worse. So the idea was to this one first, because if he takes, we can push up, boom, and get that one right by, like that. Let's say he takes. Yeah. That's the way we would win that, and then we would get him by. So that was the basic idea: to push that one up first, give up these two, so that this guy can get by like that. That was the basic plan. So Bruce, I kind of anticipated Bruce. This is the sad thing for me, is like I anticipated so many moves from Bruce. He did a lot of moves that I figured he was going to do, but I miscalculated so much. I just miscalculated. I mean, that's just, at the end of the day, that's what it is. I anticipated this move, and I was like, I'm just going to go forward with it anyway. Might even get two pass pawns, because if Bruce then takes, boom, that's not good. Bruce might have one coming down this way, but I can just easily take him out when he gets that far. Or I can just go ahead and just rook right there and take him out. But again, I want to keep my rook down here. I want to challenge that rook right there. But I got two pawns now ready to just go ahead and go for it. If that's how it turned out. If that's how it would turned out. So he comes under there, boom, boom, and then he decides to take that one. And then I go, see, man, I'm just thinking about this. Gosh, I made such a mistake by taking that, because that allows Bruce to just go ahead and park his bishop right here, and just, these guys can't do it. They're stuck. It was just so much miscalculation. Like, that would have been better, because Bruce would have probably retreated. I could push forward right there, and then just see if I can get some support to him. I can get a rook right here, and just fork both of these, take both of these out, and and it would have just man, I really blew it so badly. I just miscalculated, man. Just miscalculated. I thought, yeah, hey, look, I'm gonna get 2 promotions, and Bruce parks his bishop right there. At this point, so um, uh, I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to go ahead and just go. The only thing I can do now at this point is just go pawn hunting, just try to make sure that he does not get promotions. All of my pawns are stuck. Bruce can unstuck himself a couple times, and when he does that, I gotta do it, And yeah, I'm gonna lose my knight, but I have to. I cannot. You're in a desperate situation right now. You cannot allow him to promote. So Bruce does this move. When I do this, I'm thinking, what's Bruce's next move going to be? It might be something like I'm honestly thinking what Bruce might do is this, because he can give him up. So like basically here, like if Bruce pushed forward right here like that, and I didn't take, and I did something like that, probably would have been a good move for me. He could just take. I can't take with my king. I'm checked. I have to move a king. Pass pawn potential right there. And look at that. All these 3 right here. And then Bruce can just go ahead and just, he could take out this pawn easily with 2 pieces, either the knight or the bishop. And here's the thing. You might think, oh, well, he's just going to allow these guys to push up. Not really, because then he just pushes the pawn up, then the bishop can just come back and take him out and go back to where he was. So that's kind of the cool thing about that. But, but let's say I did that, okay? I'm in a pretty winning position at this point. And Bruce pushes forward, boom, take, and there goes my bishop. Because again, I'm like forced to throw pieces away in order to stop him from promoting. But I'm also going to possibly get to promote. So we come down like this, like Bruce has got these 2 pawns right here. Again, this is right now we're in theory. We're in theory right now. This isn't how the game turned out. I push up right there, Bruce takes, and then I promote queen, and then there's checkmate. I could have. See, I'm looking at this now. I'm like, man, I'm looking back now at all these opportunities of where I could have won the game, but I panicked, man. I just panicked. Hold on one second. I got to turn on a light. Turn on a light and turn off other lights so that I don't waste electricity. But so, Bruce could have pushed up right there, and let's say I just did this, and if Bruce does that, my king is forced to move out of the way. You could then take, if you wanted to, you'd probably lose him, maybe? I'd probably take him. I'd probably take it. I just screwed up so badly in not going for the bishop. I should have taken out the bishop much sooner, but I'm waiting for Bruce to potentially push up this pawn and get some pass pawns going here, break up the structure here. All he has to do is free up these 2 pawns, get these 2 pawns out of the way, and then he could push 3 pawns down. But he does this, and I think Bruce at this point in the game, Bruce didn't know what to do. He didn't really know what to do. He's like, the only thing I can do at this point is just try to take out these 2 pawns are basically hanging. Pawns can't defend each other like this. So he's like, I'll just take both of these out, and I had to go ahead and defend both pawns. Now, there's a couple things I could have done here. I could have done this. I could have blocked right here. Bruce took. I would have taken back. Interesting thing here is White's still winning, even though Bruce would have lost a rook. White's still winning. So I could have done that. I also could have just gone ahead and blocked right there. So if he took, boop, then both of our rooks would be gone. I decided to go ahead and I just didn't want to trade my pieces. I was like, I don't feel comfortable trading my pieces right now. So I protected with this. And again, this is all ignores the fact that I should have done that, man. Should have been doing that a long time ago and just take out that stinking bishop. I don't know why. I just cannot. I'm looking back now. I'm like, I can't believe I didn't do that. I cannot believe there was no reason for me to lose this game. There just really wasn't any reason for me to lose this game. Because if Bruce, takes right there, we take, and now Bruce isn't going to take that because he's going to lose his rook. Now, I would have done it. I would have gone ahead and just, because then, because now all you got to think about is just, okay, now I'm freeing up these guys. Oh, wait, maybe that wouldn't be a good thing. Because now I'm going to be pushing that pawn up and be protecting him with the rook. Yeah, actually, that wouldn't have been good for Bruce. So, man, I'm really looking back at all this. I'm so disappointed in myself. So Bruce goes ahead and right there, I'm not sure what that's doing. So I'm gonna go ahead and attack that rook with my rook, and just get that rook out of there. I'm just chasing him out. I do, and again, I'm starting doing the thing. The only thing I think I can do is just prevent the pass pawns. Bruce takes that. He protects that, which is a pretty good move. And I'm going to go ahead and I want to get. Now I'm thinking about finally. I'm thinking about, okay, let's just go ahead and take out the bishop. But I couldn't just go right there because that just hangs the rook. Right here, you know. Yeah, I could have checked the king and then go for it, I guess. But, you know, the king's going to be moving. Either way the king moves, I'm going to lose the rook. So I move the rook right there and then go for it right here. That was my idea. And then I get checked. I'm forced this way. Now, this is where I thought when Bruce makes this move, I go, oh, sweet. So I'm going to do this right here. I see a potential right here to finally take out that bishop. What I'm going to do is I'm going to check the king, the revealed check, take out the bishop. So basically the idea here is... And I thought Bruce was going to, like, let's say Bruce just decides, just check him up. And I would move my king right there. Now, the thing here is, right, you see that right there? And then Bruce maybe attacks my bishop, which you can see how this, you see this right here? That's checkmate. I think that's checkmate right there. That'd be checkmate. It's a discovered attack right here. So king can't move there. He can't move here because my king is protecting all of those pieces, all those squares, and right there. And then of course all that's, you know, he can't move anywhere there. So the king would have checkmated. So let me basically what am I saying here? So let's go back, exit the theoretical stuff, going back to the way the game actually turned out. So when Bruce attacks my bishop, I go, oh. Right here, I saw an opportunity right there to get that bishop. And then Bruce did that. I was hoping Bruce was going to do this because, and Bruce, I don't know if Bruce realizes this, but he escaped checkmate a lot in this game. Prevents my king from going here. My king can't move anywhere here. So my king can only move backwards. So I was forced to move back. And he attacks the bishop. I'm like, that's fine. I'm just going to go forward with the plan here. And this is where I just totally screwed up. This is where I screwed up. I was calculating. I was thinking if I thought if I moved here and the king moved there to attack the rook, you know, I'm just not going to be able to promote the pieces here. So I thought what I need to do before I take the bishop is go ahead and prevent the king from going right there and then take the bishop. And then Bruce starts pushing out the pieces. And then this is where I really panicked. I was like, crud. Great. This is where I just basically lost. Like, the game's over at this point. It's pretty much just all over. There's nothing for me to do. Because if I take this, Bruce can easily right there. And look at this guy. This guy is that's just a home run right there. There's no way I can stop that ultimately. You know, like I mean, there's a way I could do it, I guess, right here. Like, let's say right there, and then right there. But you know, look at this. I mean, you know, yeah. That's not. We're not in a good situation at the point. So, you know, I do the only thing I think I can do is I just start checking the king. I just start checking his king, hoping for an opportunity, and I do this. Again, I took a lot of risks in the game. I thought, look, here's what I'll do. I'll offer a rook trade. Well, not a rook trade, but I'm honestly, I just threw the rook. I can't believe Bruce didn't even go for this. Because this rook is totally undefended. I'm giving up the rook. But I'm giving up the rook so that I can do that safely. Of course, that doesn't change much because I can still just lose the bishop, you know, at the end of the game. So it's just like this guy's protected by two pieces right here. And again, you might think, well, you know, well then this Chase can get a pass pawn, right? So let's say Bruce goes for it. He goes for the bait, takes that. He takes that. Chase can get a pass pawn. Not really. Boom. And we're still in the same spot. So I offer the rook trade, and I'm glad. At the end of the day, I'm kind of glad Bruce didn't go for it. So I retreat. I push my rook up. I do this. I'm thinking he's not going to take that rook because then he's going to lose the bishop. And then right here, at this point, I was like, dude, I don't know what to do, man. pretty much done. This is just over. I'm in desperation mode right here. But before I do this, let me just go back to show you why I should have pressed forward with the attack. So we do this, and Bruce, he does this, and then we take the bishop right there. Well, hold on 1 second. Boom, boom, knight attack. Yeah, so right there, at this point in the game, I could have won. Because Bruce made a huge mistake, I think. I think he made a big mistake with this knight move, trying to attack the bishop. Because I know it's clear Bruce didn't see this. So when I do this, his king moves to right there. You take right there, and if I'm thinking to myself, Bruce knows he cannot allow me to promote, so he's gonna attack the rook. If I do this, I just give up the rook like that, and then I'm stuck in the same situation. So I would do this like that, and then Bruce, so let's say Bruce decides, oh crud, I'm checked, but I don't want to get stuck in the corner. He does that. Nope, we don't want to do that. We would, what was it? What was the move? Oh yes, I was going to start moving my king up. And then let's say Bruce decides, oh crud, there's nothing for me to do here, so I'm just going to go ahead and let's say he takes right there. He takes that. And then we push the king up even further. We're going to use our king as basically an attack piece to protect the rook. Boom, right here. He comes up right there. And he's going to try to promote. But I'm getting it first. And then there's checkmate. Now let's go back. Go back. Okay. We take right there, checks, and then Bruce decides to park his king in the corner right there, which is, again, why does the game say that's even? Because there's no ultimate attack from my rook. My rook does not have an attack at this point. However, here's the thing. Bishop right here to basically guard that. And then Bruce, the king is stuck. The king can't move anywhere. Look at this. See how when I click on the king for the move, like he clicks on this, he can move there. King can't move anywhere. He's stuck. There's nowhere for him to go. He cannot take the rook because the rook is guarded by the bishop, by the pawn. I keep mixing up pawns and bishops. So Bruce will. There's only one thing for you to do is just start pushing up these pawns. I'm gonna push up right there. Right there. No. That's not the move. Hold on. Okay, we'll go back here. He pushes up. Get the king forward. Boom. 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 And let's say he promotes. And then there's checkmate. Boom. Can you imagine how this game would have been if that's how it turned out? Like, I'm just like looking at this and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I missed it, man. I just totally. As soon as like that would have been so amazing to win the game like that. As soon as Bruce, like it was a race to the checkmate. Like it was a race for Bruce. It would have been a race to get a queen in the game. For me, it would have been a race to the checkmate. This is checkmate right there. That's checkmate. And it would have been like the coolest way too. It would have been utilizing all of my pieces, like all of them, except for maybe him. But the king, even my king, is used as an attack piece to checkmate his king. That's how it could have been. And I should have just taken out. And again, it would have been all. It all would have been possible if I would just taken out that stinking bishop, just taken him out. And instead, I panicked. I just ruined everything. So, just check, taking, I'm trying, and okay, so again, this is where I'm stuck, because if I go right here, then I just lose the rook, and then there's, and if I, push forward right there, he's gone. And then, what am I going to do at this point? Are you just going to what's there to do? There's nothing for me to do. There's just this. Boom. And there's no way. I mean, look at this. That's 3 moves. 1 move he's promoting. Like, and then again, I'm not getting past his bishop. So there's nothing for me to do. It's just over. There's no move. So I'm just like, I'll just check and just see if he makes. So this was my last hope right here. My last hope was this, that Bruce would do that, so that then I could do that. Check, force the king to move again. Take. You know, then he promotes, I guess. Well, I'm in check. Yeah, then I would have to move. Then try to do something. Right. Like it would have been better, I guess, right here, because then my king could move right here, and then I couldn't get forked, basically, my king and my rook. But so there's nothing for me to do. So, you know, I just go ahead and just and again, so if I decide, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and how can my rook can't, again, if my rook does this, I'm just gonna lose the rook. I can't do that because you just lose him again. You still lose the rook, and then he gets a queen at the same time. So there's nothing for my, just nothing. There's just nothing to do. Check right there, and then right here is I resign at this point because and again my plan from here was to basically I was anticipating this check, and I was just gonna move back right here, but then I realized, holy crap, I'm getting forked right there. The next move is obvious for Bruce. Next move is just take the rook, and once he takes the rook, there's no way you're winning. There's no way I'm gonna win. The game's over. It's just that rook was a key piece in my end game. Rooks are powerful end game pieces. That's why you try to hold on to your rooks as long as you possibly can, except for certain situations to give up a rook. But for the most part, hold on to your rooks as long as you possibly can. Because when it comes in the beginning of the game, they're not very powerful. At the end of the game, towards the end game, they become very powerful pieces. And both of our rooks, you see that in this game, both of our rooks were pretty strong in this game, our remaining rooks. But I made just a terrible calculation, like right here. So let's go back to this point. Boom, 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 boom. Boom. That's when I lost the game. That's when I lost. Right here. Right here is when I lost. It's when I panicked. So, you know, I mean, because it still could have been bad for me. Like, it could have been this, and Bruce could have decided to just go ahead and take. You know, I lose my bishop right there. But, you know. However, you know, right there. Game doesn't like that, but whatever. You know, if Bruce pushes forward right there, I don't know why. It's interesting. It says I can get mated here in 10 moves. I don't know. Like that. Oh, I see. Oh, yeah. That's not good. So, anyways, but like I should have taken that and counted on Bruce to panic and attack the rook, to where I can just then trap the king, get him stuck, and then, you know, again, as he starts pushing pieces forward here, I could just start pushing my own pieces forward to just constrict the king. I would checkmate him before he promotes. There'd be no way for him to promotes and get his queen into the game before he get checkmated. But that's not how it turned out. You know, like I said, I am very just not happy with how I played that. I started out good and I started out strong. I took a big risk with the queen trade. It was, and I honestly thought it was going my way for a while. I just made a series of really bad mistakes. I just made terrible decisions towards the end. I just choked. And you know, it's just the way it is. You know, you win some, you win, you lose, you learn. Again, you know, it's just about learning from our mistakes. So hopefully next time I think more about these moves, and just, yeah, there you go. All right, so that was a whole hour. That's long enough. So that's today's lesson in chess. Whoops. Hold on 1 second. I also just wanted to say, I forgot to mention this. I also just want to say that, you know, as frustrating as it might be to lose. I am actually just I'm really glad to see that Bruce is he's getting better at chess. I mean, he's getting much better. It's clear to me that he's starting to learn how to like how the way to win, like, you know, compared to the last couple games where he was telling me like, oh, you know, all he's trying to do is just check my king again. And so checking the king is obviously it's part of the game, you know. Like you see right here where my king's being checked. It's not a checkmate, but it is a fork. This is what you call tactics. So the check is not to take the king. The check is actually to take the rook. And so, you know, that's an example of a good check. But it is, I'm like, see, and that's how it's not the only way to win a game, obviously, but it's one of the central ways to win the game is to utilize all your pieces, to bring them all into the game, coordinate your pieces. I will say that I do think Bruce still has some things to work on in terms of like how to, you know, just plan a little bit farther ahead. But even that, it's not just about you planning your own moves ahead of time. It's anticipating what your opponent's going to do. Like I was saying, you know, several times in this last game that Bruce and I played, I already anticipated what he was going to do, which is crazy. I still lost. But I didn't lose because I was anticipating what Bruce was going to do. I lost because I changed my own plans too much. I should have stuck with what I was originally going with, and so, you know, that's on me. So yeah, that's the one thing. But the other thing too is like, even though, like I said, I'm frustrated with how I played the game, this last game, it was still a great game. It really, really was. I love the games that go into end games like this. You know, they go all the way up to 62 moves, where, you know, both players are just playing their hearts out, you know, I love the games that really make me have to think about every single move, you know, and from start to finish. Those are the games I love to play. I think those are the games that are more challenging. They're just so much more interesting, just way, way better. Yeah, it definitely was a good game. So, you know, there you go. I just wanted to make sure I mentioned that before I closed out. So, all right.